Without further ado, here we go. This is the Chris Duncan Daily Download number 15. And it's been so fun for me to do these every single day and just be able to bring new concepts out and what I'm thinking about. It's been an interesting 24 hours since I did my last session. I had to go through quite a lot of stuff. And what I mean by this, and by the way, if you're out there watching live, go ahead and invite your followers. You can do it just below. Is I had to go through so much stuff in the last 24 hours, and I felt myself on this wave where I was in one place trying to do one thing, another place doing another, and it's all about the shift and the shift out of your comfort zone. Here's what I want you to understand: is all of us have a comfort zone, and it's the silent killer. It's the silent killer of everything. Killer of dreams, killer of relationships, killer of hope. We have this comfort. Now, when I say comfort, what it means is it's just what you accept. It's everything that's been in your past. But the biggest thing is that it's come from your past. But let me just share this. Hey, Sherry. Hey, everyone that's on live. It's from your past, but it's also been passed down. Because guess what happens? Between ages 0 and about 7, or 0 and 4, it doesn't matter which way you look at it, you learn from your parents. You learn what is safe. You learn how much money you should have. You learn what is right. You learn what is wrong. Well, guess what? Where do you think they learnt from? They learned from their parents between 0 and 4 or 0 and 7. Does this make sense? And then guess where your grandparents learnt from and where they learnt from. There's studies that show there's 7 generations of patterning that's flowing down through into our DNA. If you want to know more about this, check out Bert Hellinger's work. I think it's fantastic. So I want to talk a little bit about our comfort zone, because our comfort zone isn't even ours. Write it down. My comfort zone isn't even mine. It isn't yours, it isn't mine, and mine isn't either. And so I felt myself moving through this shift in the last 24 hours, and it was a great question, and I'm so glad I got asked the question, because I love your questions, and so please keep on firing in those questions. And it really was funny, because these videos about what's happening in my life, so I had to actually search for something in my life so I could share this. And here's what's going on for me at the moment. I created this company recently. We're about 3 months in. We're doing about 70K a month. And so it's still a micro company. You know, we haven't even hit $100,000 in revenue a month. It's tiny. But it's a good start, okay? It's a good start. And so what I was finding is that in the last 24 hours, I've gone from this place where I was hyper busy, getting it all set up, getting it all moving, and then all of a sudden, space. And I had all this time off. And it was this very uncomfortable situation. Can I just ask at this point, can you guys share this out if you think there's people that need to hear about their comfort zone? So I'm going through this process, and I don't know about you, but for me, money's always been about hard work. You got to work hard, Chris. Doesn't matter how much you have, you got to keep working hard. Business, life is all about hard work, but that's what it was for me. And the really, really interesting thing was, as I'm sitting there with all this money, all this stuff happening, all of this thing, and I'm going, I feel crappy. I felt so bad. And I was digging into it, and I go, I am so uncomfortable just sitting back and having this just work. Having it just work without me. And so in the last 24 hours, one of my businesses that I don't have to put any time into paid me $7,500. And Ben, love you, brother. And if you watch this, I appreciate that business so much. Another business of mine randomly sent me a $4,500 check. I've been doing this manifestation stuff and magnetization, so I'm sure that has to do with it. And then this last company that I just did, suddenly it's working without me. Now, I wasn't bringing those up to kind of boast or share, even if that's the way that you received it. My point is I'm trying to share my experience. So I'm sitting there, and there's a part of me that's kind of off. And it got me thinking about comfort zones. Our comfort zones are our edges of what's possible. Our comfort zone is the edges of what's possible that we won't sabotage. If you've ever seen a sports person make a lot of money then lose it, or if you've ever seen a movie star or other people get a lot of success and lose it, or if you've seen it in yourself, you've got a lot of success and then you lose it, or you get a lot of love, or you just sabotage relationship after relationship after relationship, dig into it and ask yourself this question. Is that the edge of my comfort zone? Am I just uncomfortable with that much love, that much success? Am I that much against it, even though we want it. Because here's what happens, is even though our brain might think that we want something, thinks that there's something else that we might like, here's what you got to understand. If you're not experiencing it right now, then it's outside of your comfort zone. And so today I want to talk to you about how to shift it. But if you're on there on Facebook Live, go ahead and invite your friends. If you're watching this video, please share this out if this is resonating with you. So comfort zones are that. Comfort zones are passed down from you because it's only what you've experienced. Why is this? Why is it? Because our brains don't actually want the quality that we think they want. See, we have two brains. Well, we have more than two brains, but our reptilian brain really just wants us to survive. And so because of that, what it says is it says everything in my past has been survived. Therefore, it's so much safer than anything that's new. And so when we look at our edges, when we look at our comfort zone, here's what not to do. Don't get annoyed that you're not there. See, sometimes we can have a strategy, but think about it like a box. The strategy is going to take us outside. And so even though that strategy works out here, we can't get there until our universe of what's possible actually shifts out here. So here's what's interesting. Where do you need to make the shift? See, a lot of people, they wait till they get it later, and they wait till they're thinking about I wants. Now, if you know anything about manifestation, I wants are the worst things because it will show up, and if you can't experience it as comfortable, guess what you're going to do? You're going to palm it off. So there I am last night having this experience of all this money coming in. I haven't had to put any time into it, and a business working without me, and frankly, so excited about it. And going, oh man, why don't I feel comfortable with this yet? Digging in and creating space to actually feel completely comfortable in that moment. Here's what you got to understand. There is only now. And so if right now you can't feel completely comfortable with abundance, but it comes from everywhere. And a lot of times people ask me, you know, Chris, how can I make millions? Or how can I do this? Or how can I build a business? How can I do all these other things? And the thing is, it all comes down to receiving. How good you are at receiving all sorts of different things. So I'm digging into it. And what's up, Curbs? Thanks. Thanks, Sherry. It's not the point. The point is that everyone gets this. Those of you who are watching the replay down here, I've got Facebook Live up here as well. And here's the deal, is all change must happen right now. If you're thinking, I'm going to create this business, or I'm going to have this relationship, and then I'm going to feel love, or then I'm going to feel freedom, or then I'm going to feel successful. If you have a and then, you will never, ever, ever sustain what it is that you want, because you need to be able to get it right now. It's kind of like blowing a balloon. You must blow the balloon up now to create the space to be able to have what it is that you want. When your comfort zone expands, you suddenly are in this moment. You're in this moment where you don't actually need what it is that you're after. So write this down. What if you were so in the feeling, you were so comfortable with all the feelings that you want, everything you want, that even if you didn't hit your goal, right? Even if you don't hit your goal, you still feel just as good. And this flips out everyone. People always say it's the journey to $1 million. They say the second time you make $1 million, it's going to be easier. The truth is, it's all true. The person you have to become in order to achieve and create that sort of money, it's phenomenal because it all happens now. And this is the most exciting thing for any of you trying to create or build something, is that if you set your life up with right now is worse than where you want to go, then you're never going to be able to manifest it. You're never going to be able to magnetize it because the universe only responds to what you are in here. So you need to dig in now and feel good now and feel free now and feel full of love. I was talking to a client and she's just in a new relationship. And I said to her, I said, you need to feel love with or without that man. You need to feel just as much love if he's there or if he's not, because it's when you're in that loving state that that love will show up. But it's so easy for us to fall out of this. And so comfort zones are the silent killer, and we all have them. We all have them. There is a level of money that we're uncomfortable with, and then there's a level of money that we're comfortable with, and we're always in between those two. And so there's two things we've got to do to really shift this. And the first thing is we must raise the bottom up. Does that make sense? So we must raise that up and only feel the comfort in the level that we want to resonate at. And then we raise up the next barrier. And that's going to be our universe where we're actually going to live. And so there's these two things going on. And so if you're watching the recording, I'm going to stay with the Facebook Live crew for a moment and answer some questions. But this was the Chris Duncan Daily Download number 15. And I hope that you're enjoying them out there. Please type in if this made sense to you, and please ask me any questions and be on the next Facebook Live if you can. Make sure you're following me and share this out. Type in what you want me to cover tomorrow. Having heaps of fun doing it. Bye for now. Cool. So I finished up with the video, and I'm just here with you guys now. And I can see a bunch of you that have typed in, which is very exciting to me. How is that? How many of you know that it's your comfort zone that's the problem? It's all of you. And it's all of us, because there is no way around that. What you have right now is exactly what you're comfortable with. So look, I'm happy to continue and to keep on riffing with you guys if you want to put in some questions. But here's what I need is I need you to click the invite your followers. So you can just invite them. If you've seen on Facebook Live, you can invite them. Here's what I want to talk about. I want to give you guys who are on live, I want to give you the shifts that you can make today. If you can give some shout outs by inviting your followers, I would appreciate that. So go ahead and do it. Thanks for all the likes and the love. You guys are awesome. It's, yeah, Nick, let's talk soon. Let's talk soon. Because this is the biggest problem that I see, everybody, is people are trying to manifest and create success the completely the wrong way. Here's what they're wanting to do. They're wanting tactics and strategies before they've got enough universe or enough capacity to actually have that inside their universe. If you don't have a universe right now that feels completely loving, then no matter what strategy, what person that comes into your life, you're not going to be able to have that. If you don't have one that's true confidence now, there is nothing that you're going to do. But this is the most exciting thing, because when you dive into the now and expand it out, it allows all those things to show up. And gee, it will show up so fast. So fast. But we can't get frustrated about the edges of our comfort zone. And here's what I wanted to add to you guys that are on live with me that I think is going to be a big tip for all of you. When we're edging out our comfort zone, we don't want to do this. We don't want to have a comfort zone here and jump so far out here, because what's going to happen? Well, if we jump so far outside our comfort zone, it's going to be like this, and we're going to have to jump straight back to comfort, because our brain is designed for us to be around for a long time. So it's designed for survivability. It's designed to be here for a long time. So if anything's too uncomfortable, then you will jump back. So what you've got to understand is the progressive realization of increasing your comfort zone. It's the only way. It's the only way. You really have to start expanding your universe. I'm going to talk exactly how to do that right now. The first thing, okay, the first thing that you must write down is, what can I do this week that I'm going to act in spite of any negative feelings? What will I act in spite of any uncomfort feelings? That's the first thing. The second thing that I need you to understand is uncomfort is nothing but newness. Uncomfortable is nothing but newness. It's nothing but something that is new to you. You or your parents or your coding have not experienced this. So it's just newness. If you're not experiencing, oh, this feels new, oh, this feels uncomfortable, this feels different, well, then you're just replaying the past. Or it will be a short win before you go back to what is comfortable. So that's the way to code up what's happening on the outside. The next thing, okay, is never ever allow yourself to stay comfortable very long. Because one thing that I've become very comfortable with, and this is interesting, is a progressive shift of what is comfortable. Feel the fear and notice that fear is a good thing. Good point, putting in feel the fear and do it anyway. How about this? Feel the fear and understand what the fear is really telling you, and then logically move through it. See, people think that fear is a bad thing. Why would your brain do a bad thing? The fear is there to stop something or to notice something. And here's how fear looks to me now. Oh, I'm scared about that happening. Oh, well, what's the message? The message is, I really don't want this to happen. Okay, cool. And then this next question, well, what's the worst thing that would happen if that happened? And then as soon as I ask that question, it says, well, this person will be angry at me. And then I ask it again, well, what's the worst thing that would happen if that person was angry at me? Well, they might post on my Facebook wall and say that they don't like me. Okay. And then what's the worst thing that happen then? A few other people might not trust me as much, and then everyone will get over it in a few months. Right? Guess what my biggest fear is? Letting people down. It's my hugest fear. And so, isn't it interesting when you look at that and you ask those questions and you move outside your comfort zone with ease and grace? See, it should be an easy dance. When we're really trying to push, I'm going to reframe pushing, because I don't think you need to push out your comfort zone. It should be an easily unfolding. Okay, every time you're pushing, it's an artificial push, like you're pushing the edge of a balloon and it's about to ping you right back. You're not going to actually be able to push through, otherwise you'll go pop and your whole universe will shrink right down again. So anytime you're pushing, okay, what I need you to do is you need to notice what walls are you coming up against. Because if you're not noticing these, if you just try to break down the walls, okay, it's just not going to be something that's sustainable. And trust me, I'm the guy that for years just broke the walls, just punched the next wall, punched the next punch, and pushed, and got everything out the way, went. And I'd make millions, I would lose it. I'd get great relationships, I'd screw them up. I'd feel happy and content, I'd feel terrible. And I'd go up and down. But I would keep on fighting, right? Because I'm an achiever. I'm success. I would just smash it. I even had this metaphor that I would say over and over again, which was just smash it, just smash it, just smash it. And I would go, and I had a lot of outward success. But the thing is that it would always go like this for so long until I realized that this was me just pushing down walls, moving them aside, but most of the wall was still being there. Because the way you do anything is the way you do everything. So say you smash through the wall in income, that same wall is going to be still sitting over here in a different part of your life. Then you're going to go through, smash that. And it's completely demotivating and also super hard. So do you guys want me to share the easier way to do it? A couple of you. Okay. I was going to anyway. The easiest place for you to make the shifts is to understand that it came from your past or it was passed down. So what you must do is you must open up the book of your history, and then you're going to go back and you're going to make revisions. Here's what happened is, as a 2-year-old, as a 3-year-old, you coded up your reality. You coded up what things meant. You saw your parents arguing about money and you thought money was a bad thing, but there were so many other things. The truth is that they just had a bad day. And we make these intimate decisions because as a human being comes into this world, we have the smallest amount of neural connections. Let me ask you this question. If you can learn something, can you then also unlearn it? The answer is, of course, yes. And so what happens is human beings come in with the smallest amount of neural connections out of nearly any animal. We come in and we learn everything. We code everything up. We learn it one time. So here's the trick, and it's very, very simple. And I've got a lot of techniques and processes that we can help with this. Is you go back, you experience that time again through adult eyes, and you relearn it in a different way. What if you could relearn that instead of when your parents argued that money was a bad thing, instead you recoded that you should always have a lot of money, right? What if that was your recoding? What if you recoded when you saw parents or others that you know fighting in a relationship and you thought, well, relationships are just bad, or you were so heartbroken when your parents broke up, and you went back, and instead of saying the coding was, I should never have a relationship because it was so much pain to me, what if the coding changed to, I've got to figure out everything and dive deep and have an amazing relationship? And then you notice how much that's going to shift your experience now. But we hold on to these. And it's so much fun And you can literally shift anything because you've decided yourself to be this way. So do you not think it's true? You can decide yourself to be another way. So that's what you got to do. It's actually all in your past that will expand. It's like that there's all these ropes holding on and tied to your past to say you can't go past here, you can't go past here till you go back and you snip off all the different ropes that are holding you there. So anyway, I hope you loved today's download. Love you so much. Please, please, please post, message, keep commenting, doing what you're doing. Tell me what you'd love to hear me share and talk about tomorrow. I love the interaction. I love what you guys are all about. I've heard a lot of people ask me to talk about the superconscious and a lot of other things. So please share this out with people that need to hear it. Comment on it. Ask me some good questions. And I'll talk to you all tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the Chris Duncan Daily Download number 16. It's been 15 days in a row. I'm loving every minute of it, on my way to 100. And looking forward to supporting you in your life as much as possible. Talk to you soon. Bye now.